This is me several hours into trying something the entire internet won't stop talking about.
Prediction
markets.
Easiest way to make money in 2026.
Kalshi and Polymarket, sites that let you bet on almost everything, are everywhere. On billboards, social media, and even on major news networks.
So what are the prediction markets saying?
Over on the prediction market, Kalshi.
Take a look at the Kalshi prediction market.
Prediction markets promise two really big things. One is truth.
We're making the world a little bit smarter about what's going to happen in the future.
It's the most accurate thing we have as mankind right now.
And the other is money.
News junkies out there are making tens of thousands and millions of dollars.
I make all my money on Kalshi.
You know that you could have won more if you're using Polymarket?
Polymarket trader has made $6 million!
I realized I didn't totally understand how these platforms are able to do those things. And even though there's no shortage of content online talking about these platforms, to me, a lot of it sounded unconvincing or a little contradictory. So instead, I dove into the research, talking to the academics and experts who are studying these markets. And I learned that the more important question that we should be asking is who is actually using them. Before anything else, let's go over the basics. The basic idea behind prediction markets is the wisdom of crowds.
The wisdom of crowds.
Wisdom of crowds.
Wisdom of crowds.
The idea that collecting information from lots of people produces a more accurate forecast than any one expert. That might just sound like conducting a poll, but in prediction markets, participants have to back up their position with money. So the wisdom of crowds isn't the wisdom of everybody, it's the wisdom of informed, or at least confident people in that crowd.
The wisdom of crowds is not just random people. It's the Swifties, or it's, the people who know about geopolitics, or who know about finance, or who know about tennis, or, whatever.
And as new information comes in, participants can change their positions, constantly updating the accuracy of the prediction. On Kalshi and Polymarket, you can buy a position for between 1 and 99 cents. After the event happens, winners collect money directly from the losers. This is different from sports betting platforms, where the house, the operator of the platform, bets against users. DraftKings or FanDuel make money when users lose. So their objective is to attract users, but also to limit how often they win. Prediction markets aren't betting against their users. They pair bettors against each other and then take a fee on transactions. Okay, that's the basics. The first thing I want to show you is this chart. This is from a study of activity on Polymarket between November 2022 and September 2025. The authors looked at what percentage of users made money overall and what percentage lost money. You can see that the majority of Polymarket users, around 71% of them, lost money, and only around 28% made any money. But if you think of prediction markets as gambling, those odds actually look pretty good. In sports betting, only around 3% of participants make any money long term. But remember that because of how prediction markets work, the money that these people win comes directly from the money that these people lose. They're roughly the same amount of money. So why does the share of red losers look so much bigger than the share of green winners? Well, the profit numbers on the y-axis are logarithmic. They each increase by a factor of 10. Make it linear, and the chart almost looks like it disappears. Look closely though, and you can still see profits and losses. They're just incredibly concentrated. A tiny fraction of losers lost millions of dollars, and a tiny fraction of winners made upwards of $20 million. The researchers found that the top 1% of Polymarket traders make 95% of all profits, and the top 0.1% make 74% of all profits. Other studies have found a similar concentration of profit at the very top. That is a tiny percentage making the majority of money. My question was, if most people are losing money on prediction markets, who are the people who are winning? And who are the tiny minority of people making so much money? I've been spending a lot of time trying to track down the best people to talk to about prediction markets, and I always come across these sites that literally let you pay for someone's phone number or email address or home address. I don't actually do this. This is not how I do my reporting. But the thing is, anyone else can. These are called people search sites, and they are completely legal here in the US. You can go to these sites and ask them to take your information down, but there are dozens of them, and you would have to contact each one separately. Incogni is a service that handles all of that process for you. They reach out to data brokers on your behalf and get your personal information removed. Right now, they've got 60% off at incogni.com/tunnelvision. The whole thing runs automatically. They deal with all the back and forth so that you do not have to do a thing. Use the code tunnelvision at the link below to get 60% off a full year at incogni.com/tunnelvision. It's a great way to stay safe online while supporting the work that we do on this channel. Okay, let's get back to the story. Okay, so who are the people who are making money on prediction markets? I figured out that the answer can be broken down into 3 groups, starting with the one that gets the most attention.
Insider trading.
Insider trading.
Insider trading on prediction markets.
Kalshi and Polymarket have had a steady stream of cases of likely insider trading, where people who have insider knowledge about an upcoming event bet against people who don't. From a $50,000 payout betting on Taylor Swift's engagement to over $400,000 on Nicolas Maduro's capture and over $1 million in Google's year in search terms. It's hard to know exactly how much of this profit is insider trading. There's no direct way to identify that a trade was based on non-public information, but researchers have tried to make an estimate.
Our study asked, how likely is it, how systematic is it that there could be people out there who may have actual information, or at least there's some indications that the trading in which they're engaging is suspicious.
Joshua and his co-author Moran Ophir analyzed 2 years of Polymarket activity for unusual behavior. For example, one account trading on the Maduro capture made its first trade just days before the event and stopped trading entirely immediately after. It placed a lot of money on a low probability bet, a total of almost $40,000 on contracts that all cost under 10 cents. And when you break down those purchases by when they were made, you can see that 3 major bets were placed after the capture happened, but before the information went public so that the market could resolve. Joshua and Moran found that suspicious accounts like this one made a total of $143 million on Polymarket between February 2024 and February 2026. That is a lot, but it's less than 1% of Polymarket's total trading volume in that same period of time. So while insider trading is a massive issue on these platforms, it's just one piece of the puzzle. So let's talk about the next group.
I don't understand how anyone gets very good at this in the first place.
When I first tried trading on Kalshi and Polymarket, I wasn't totally convinced that you could be good at them. But then I found interesting evidence of how many people are really good at prediction markets. In this paper from April 2026, the authors visualized how many Polymarket accounts won more often than if odds were totally random, and how many accounts lost more often than if they were totally random. If there were no skill involved in prediction markets, the distribution of users here would look like a flat line. Instead, it looks like this. There's a huge group of, and this is the technical term, unskilled losers, consistently losing a significant amount of money. And there's a group half as big, consistently winning a significant amount of money. This is our second group, skilled winners. Everyone in between is considered simply lucky or unlucky. Some of the experts I talked to called these 2 sides smart money and dumb money. The smart money profits at the expense of the dumb money. So what do those skilled winners do better than the average trader? The authors say that skilled winners trade broadly across many kinds of markets, they react quickly to news, and they anticipate future changes faster than others. But the success of skilled winners is also about the things they don't do. Multiple studies have documented what's been called an optimism tax on Kalshi and Polymarket, where the average user exhibits optimistic biases that push them towards losing. For example, the average user loses money by overbetting on yes, which could simply be because yes is green and listed first, design cues that nudge people towards clicking. The average user also consistently overestimates the likelihood of low probabilities. These long shot bets, while they're cheap, they generally lose money. Expensive bets win more, but just enough to earn small returns. Altogether, skilled winners are just 3% of all users, but they take home about 20% of the money made on Polymarket. But perhaps the most important kind of winner is the one we hear about the least. Prediction markets like to say that they let you
Trade on anything.
Trade on anything.
Trade on literally anything.
But try searching for literally anything, and you realize it's not actually anything. Kalshi or Polymarket first have to publish a market. And for the platforms to do that, they need to have some amount of money backing it up, so that the first user who shows up to place a bet has someone to bet against. The entities that provide that money so that users can make bets in the first place are called market makers.
They'll pump money into these markets so that if you want to place a bet for however much money, there will be someone who will take your bet, essentially.
Some market makers are regular users doing it in exchange for perks, but increasingly, market makers are big institutional trading firms pumping huge amounts of money into platforms to make more markets possible.
There are large companies fronting a lot of the money that allows people to bet on all sorts of different things. They're putting billions of dollars into these markets so that if you want to go bet on whatever, there's someone who will be on the other side of that bet.
According to the study, market makers are a small percentage of all accounts, just 0.1%, but they take home a portion of profits that far exceeds that. And their profit comes directly from that losing majority of users. And since market makers are necessary for the whole thing to work, Kalshi and Polymarket's business models depend on users losing money. But their creators tell a different story, that while sports betting apps want you to lose, prediction markets are different.
One of them is essentially a product that is designed for customers to lose. That does not exist in prediction markets. It is a fundamental difference in structure.
The argument is that unlike traditional sports books, prediction market platforms do not directly win when you lose. And that is true. It's why Kalshi runs ads with slogans like "We aren't the house" and "We don't win when you lose." But it obscures the fact that because every market needs an infusion of cash to function in the first place, and large companies are providing that cash in order to make a profit, and that profit comes from regular users losing money, prediction markets are fundamentally dependent on their users losing.
That's actually a paradoxical thing about markets is they often fail because they don't have enough dumb money as opposed to not having enough smart money. For the health of the markets, it's necessary to have people who are new and still learning whether they're good at it, and on average, they won't be.
So prediction markets are stacked against the average person. But what about the other promise? Are they at least a good way of getting predictions about the future? To understand that, I looked at this 2026 study of market makers on Kalshi. If prediction markets gave perfectly accurate predictions, then we'd expect each bet to cost exactly as much as it is likely to win. A 10-cent bet would win 10% of the time, a 50-cent bet would win 50% of the time, and a 90-cent bet would win 90% of the time. This would be a perfectly straight line. The study's authors found that line looks more like this. You can see how cheap bets dip below the straight line and that expensive bets rise above the line. So long shot cheap bets are generally overpriced. A 10-cent bet generally wins less than 10% of the time. And expensive bets are underpriced. A 90-cent bet will win more than 90% of the time. But a 50-cent bet actually does still win about 50% of the time. Altogether, it's not perfect, but it does make for pretty good predictions. But what I learned as I read one last study was that the fundamental premise behind that accuracy, the wisdom of crowds, isn't exactly correct. The authors of this paper dug deeper into what actually makes prediction markets accurate, and they found that it isn't the wisdom of crowds. Instead, the accuracy of prediction markets is created by skilled winners. This tiny group, 30% of users, effectively drives the accuracy of the entire platform for the same reason that they're effective winners. They react quickly to news, they anticipate changes, and they bet across a large range of topics. As the authors write, the remaining majority of participants doesn't produce accuracy. It funds it. Smart money is what makes prediction markets accurate. And smart money only uses prediction markets because it can reliably feed off of dumb money, as long as new dumb money keeps coming in. And when you look at Kalshi and Polymarket's advertisements on social media, you can see that they're all clearly designed to make inexperienced people believe that prediction markets are easy money.
Bro, what?
Bro, what?
Bro, what?
What?
Wait, what?
Wait, what is this? Oh, what is this website that I just found?
Only a 1% chance?
Shit, $4 million?
Is this free?
That can't be right. Why not? Might as well.
I could just put $5K on no and make a free $100. There's no way they go to war by tomorrow.
So what did I learn from all of this? Right now, prediction markets are making people money, and they are generating accurate predictions. But the average user, someone like me, and maybe like you, is neither really making any of that money, nor helping to generate those accurate predictions. Instead, we're doing something else. Every time we bet on a prediction market and lose, we are doing something valuable to those platforms. We're funding their truth machine by incentivizing a skilled trader or someone with information that we didn't have, or a major investment company, to try to get a little richer, and in the process, produce an accurate forecast. But the entire game is being largely driven by a small group of pros. What these platforms are really selling the average person is a feeling. Hope in tough economic times and certainty in unpredictable times. That's not necessarily a bad deal, but we should know what we're signing up for. Hi, thank you so much for watching. This is a really fun and fascinating topic to get to dive deeper on, and I had a lot of fun making it. If you've made it this far to the very end of the video, I think you would really enjoy a platform that I'm helping build with my fellow journalists, Johnny Harris and Max Fisher and Sam Ellis. It's called New Press. It is a site where you can sort of witness the behind the scenes process behind these stories from the very beginning. You can chime in with some questions of your own and answer some of the questions that I have as I'm doing the reporting behind these videos. And you can also see them early, up to a week before they publish here on YouTube. You can head to newpress.com to check it out for yourself. I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, see you next time.